Look at your pepper shaker. Go on, actually look at it. That cheap little thing sitting on your kitchen table, the one you never think twice about, was once one of the most valuable substances on the face of the earth. At certain moments in history, ounce for ounce, it rivaled the value of gold. And in the year 408 CE, when a barbarian army surrounded the walls of Rome and threatened to burn the greatest city in the world to the ground, the ransom they demanded included 3,000 pounds of it. Not 3,000 pounds of gold, 3,000 pounds of pepper. The Roman Empire paid it. This is the story of how a tiny berry from a jungle vine in India built empires, launched wars, helped redraw the map of the modern world, and ended up on your table for almost nothing. The story begins in a place that ancient Europeans called the ends of the earth, the Western Ghats of India, modern-day Kerala, a steep, lush, impossibly green mountain range where a climbing vine called Piper nigrum has grown wild for thousands of years. Black pepper is not a root, not a seed, not a leaf. It is a berry, picked while still unripe, then dried beneath the tropical sun until it shrivels, darkens, and develops the unmistakable bite that would captivate the ancient world. How old is this obsession? When 19th century archaeologists examined the mummy of the Egyptian pharaoh Ramesses II, who died in 1213 BCE, they found peppercorns placed inside his nostrils. They had been carefully positioned during the embalming process to preserve the shape of the nose and, according to ancient Egyptian belief, to help restore the king's senses in the afterlife. Think about what that means. More than 3,200 years ago, pepper had already traveled over 4,800 kilometers from the rainforests of Kerala to the embalming chambers of ancient Egypt. Someone believed this tiny berry was valuable enough to carry across deserts, across seas, and across civilizations. They were right. By the time Rome rose to dominate the Mediterranean, black pepper had become more than a spice. It had become an obsession. The famous Roman cookbook Apicius included pepper in more than 80% of its surviving recipes. Romans seasoned meat with it, fish with it, vegetables, desserts, even wine. Pepper wasn't simply a flavor, it was a symbol of wealth. If your banquet featured generous amounts of pepper, your guests immediately knew you could afford the finest imports from the East. Not everyone approved. The Roman scholar Pliny the Elder was deeply frustrated by Rome's appetite for luxury goods. Writing in the 1st century CE, he complained, "There is not a year in which India does not drain the Roman Empire of 50 million sesterces." In today's terms, historians estimate that represents well over 100 million US dollars every year flowing east in exchange for luxury goods, including pepper. Pliny believed Rome's hunger for exotic imports was weakening the empire, yet the demand only continued to grow. Every year, Roman merchant fleets sailed from Egyptian ports, crossed the Red Sea, caught the seasonal monsoon winds across the Indian Ocean, and arrived on the Malabar coast, where merchants eagerly loaded their ships with pepper and other precious spices. Months later, those ships returned home carrying fortunes. An empire capable of conquering most of the known world found itself unable to resist a tiny berry from a distant jungle. And then came the moment that changed everything. And then came the moment that changed everything. The year was 408 CE. The Visigoth king Alaric I had surrounded Rome with his army. The negotiations that followed were extraordinary. To save the city from destruction, Rome agreed to pay a ransom, 5,000 pounds of gold, 30,000 pounds of silver, 4,000 silk garments, and 3,000 pounds of pepper. 3,000 pounds of pepper, listed alongside gold and silver, equal in importance, a bargaining chip for the survival of civilization itself. Rome paid every single item on that list. Yet 2 years later, Alaric sacked Rome anyway. Some historians have suggested that Rome's enormous appetite for luxury imports, including pepper, reflected deeper economic weaknesses that contributed to the empire's long decline. Pepper wasn't the cause of Rome's fall, but it became one of its most striking symbols. When the Western Roman Empire finally collapsed in 476 CE, the pepper trade did not disappear. It simply changed hands. Arab merchants became the masters of the spice routes connecting India, the Middle East, and Europe. The origins of pepper remained a closely guarded secret. Across medieval Europe, remarkable stories spread about the distant lands where pepper supposedly grew. Travelers spoke of valleys filled with deadly serpents, of harvesters who burned entire forests to drive the snakes away before collecting a single berry. Whether these tales began as merchant folklore, exaggeration, or deliberate misinformation, they achieved the same result. They made the journey seem impossibly dangerous, and they helped preserve the mystery surrounding the spice trade. For centuries, European merchants paid almost any price that was demanded, because they had no idea where pepper truly came from, or how to reach its source themselves. During the Middle Ages, pepper became known as black gold. It was more than a seasoning. It became money. Pepper could pay rent, settle debts, fund dowries, reward loyal servants. Even wealthy nobles measured their fortunes partly in sacks of pepper. In 1180 CE, London's Guild of Peppers was founded, one of England's oldest merchant guilds. A single sack of pepper could be worth a small fortune. Entire trading families built immense wealth through the spice trade. None benefited more than the great maritime republics of Venice and Genoa. For centuries, their merchant fleets dominated the trade between Europe and Asia. Every shipment of pepper passing through the eastern Mediterranean enriched their ports. Magnificent palaces rose beside Venetian canals. Merchant families accumulated extraordinary fortunes. And pepper became one of the foundations of Venice's economic power. Then, in 1453, everything changed. The mighty city of Constantinople fell to the Ottoman Empire. The ancient gateway connecting Europe and Asia was suddenly under new control. Trade routes that had operated for centuries became more expensive and increasingly uncertain. Taxes on valuable spices climbed sharply. Suddenly, pepper wasn't merely expensive, it was becoming unreachable. Kings across Western Europe faced a decision that would reshape world history: continue enriching Venice and the Ottoman Empire, or discover an entirely new route to India. They chose the ocean. It was one of the boldest decisions in human history. For centuries, European kingdoms had relied on ancient overland and Mediterranean trade routes to obtain the world's most valuable spices. Now, they would risk everything to find a new path. In 1488, the Portuguese explorer Bartolomeu Dias achieved what many believed was impossible. After months battling violent storms and towering waves, he rounded the southern tip of Africa. He named it the Cape of Storms. Portugal's king renamed it the Cape of Good Hope, because beyond it lay the possibility of reaching India by sea. The dream was finally within reach. 10 years later, another Portuguese captain would complete the journey. His name was Vasco da Gama. In 1498, after sailing nearly 24,000 kilometers around Africa and across the Indian Ocean, his fleet arrived on the Malabar coast of Kerala, the very birthplace of black pepper. After centuries of searching, Europe had finally reached the source. The ships were loaded with pepper, cinnamon, ginger, cardamom, and other precious spices. When Vasco da Gama returned to Portugal, the value of his cargo stunned Europe. Historians estimate the spices were worth nearly 60 times the total cost of the entire expedition. 60 times. One successful voyage could create unimaginable fortunes. It changed everything. But there is another story, one that is even more surprising. Just 1 year before Vasco da Gama reached India, another explorer had set sail. His name was Christopher Columbus. His mission was almost identical: find a faster route to the spice lands of Asia, especially the land of pepper. Instead of sailing around Africa, he sailed west across the Atlantic Ocean. He never reached India. Instead, he encountered an entirely different continent, the Americas.
Land ho!
Believing he had reached islands near Asia, Columbus searched desperately for the valuable spices he expected to find.
This must be the
He
island
never
of
found
spices.
black pepper.
It does not match
Instead,
the sketches.
he discovered fiery
this
chili
place?
peppers. Although unrelated to true black pepper, their sharp taste reminded Europeans of the spice they loved. The name stuck. In a remarkable twist of history, the European discovery of the Americas began with the search for pepper. A tiny berry from the forests of Kerala helped reshape the map of the world. But exploration did not bring peace. It created fierce competition. Portugal, Spain, the Dutch Republic, England, all raced to dominate the enormously profitable spice trade. Control of pepper meant control of unimaginable wealth. The voyages were dangerous and incredibly expensive. Ships could sink, storms could destroy entire fleets, pirates lurked along important sea routes. Many expeditions never returned home. To finance these risky voyages, European merchants developed a revolutionary idea. Instead of one wealthy investor paying for an entire expedition, many investors contributed smaller amounts of money. If the voyage succeeded, everyone shared the profits. If it failed, everyone shared the losses. This became known as the Joint Stock Company, one of the foundations of modern global finance. In 1602, the Dutch East India Company, known as the VOC, was established. It became the world's first truly multinational corporation. Its powers were extraordinary. It could build forts, command armies, operate warships, sign treaties, govern overseas territories, even wage war. Its primary mission? Control the global spice trade. At its height, historians estimate the VOC was worth the equivalent of nearly $8 trillion in today's money. Still considered one of the most valuable companies in history. Much of that fortune began with spices, including black pepper. Only 2 years earlier, in 1600, England had established its own East India Company. It too began as a trading company searching for pepper and other valuable spices. Over time, its influence expanded far beyond commerce. Eventually, it became the governing power over much of the Indian subcontinent. What began as a search for pepper helped shape the rise of the British Empire. A tiny berry growing on tropical vines in Kerala had changed the destiny of nations. But no monopoly lasts forever. As European powers established colonies throughout the tropics, pepper plants were secretly transported to new regions: Brazil, Indonesia, Vietnam, and many other tropical lands. What had once grown mainly on India's Malabar coast could now be cultivated across the world. Production increased dramatically. Supply expanded. Prices began to fall. Slowly, the world's most valuable spice became affordable to everyone. By the 18th century, Pepper no longer belonged only to emperors, kings, and wealthy merchants. It sat on ordinary family tables. Meanwhile, new global products captured the world's attention. Coffee, tea, chocolate, sugar, tobacco. Pepper quietly faded into everyday life. Today, Vietnam produces more black pepper than any other country on Earth. Millions of kilograms are exported every year to kitchens around the world. A spice that once stood beside gold can now be purchased for only a few dollars. Think about that. The spice that traveled thousands of kilometers to ancient Egypt. The spice placed inside the nose of Pharaoh Ramesses II. The spice that drained enormous wealth from the Roman Empire. The spice demanded as part of the ransom of Rome. The spice that inspired explorers to cross unknown oceans. The spice that helped create multinational corporations and influenced the rise of global empires. Now sits quietly inside a simple pepper shaker, waiting beside your dinner plate. So, the next time you reach for that pepper shaker, pause for just a moment. Look at it. Really look at it. Inside that ordinary container is more than seasoning. It is 3,000 years of exploration, trade, ambition, greed, discovery, conflict, innovation, and human curiosity. Few objects in your kitchen have shaped history more profoundly. Black pepper did not simply flavor food. It connected civilizations, redirected global trade, inspired voyages across unknown oceans, and helped build the modern world. Perhaps its greatest achievement is that today, we hardly notice it at all.